Okay, here we are, chapter 17. We've done 2 days of activities in class. First day we shot the eraser a specific number of times, like 5 times, and we looked at getting exactly 2 hits. Second day we shot the eraser until we were successful. And what we're going to do in this video is talk about the conditions for those type of situations. So chapter 17 starts out with defining these conditions. Those type of trials are called Bernoulli. It's kind of just a fancy vocabulary word that we give to the general classification of those kinds of trials. They deal with the probability for situations that have the following criteria. 1, independent trials. So every time I do the trial, the previous outcome does not affect my next trial. 2, same probability of success and failure for each trial. So if I'm shooting the eraser at the cup, I'm not going to change the eraser, I'm not going to change the size of the cup, I'm not going to change where I shoot from. It's the same probability every single time I shoot. And the last thing for Bernoulli is there are only 2 outcomes. Either I'm successful or I'm not. Either it rains or it doesn't, and so on. Only 2 possible outcomes. These are all classified under the general term of Bernoulli. Now, specifically, there's 2 types of Bernoulli. And the 2 types are the 2 things that we did. Day 1, we did binomial probability. And so sometimes on a test or a quiz it will have a multiple choice question that says which of the following are characteristics of a binomial probability. So you need to know the criteria. So binomial, what makes it different is that there's a fixed number of trials. So the first day when they stood here and they shot the eraser, we said you're going to shoot it 5 times. And that's it. We fixed it, 5. Now, the rest of these characteristics, if you notice, are all the same as the general characteristics of a Bernoulli. So basically, it's a Bernoulli in which specifically it has a fixed number of trials. It also has each trial is independent, same probability for each trial, and there's only 2 outcomes, success or failure. So that's your criteria for binomial probability. We talked about how to use our calculator. We do second vars, select the binomial PDF feature, and again, n is the number of trials, p is the probability of success, and that x value is the number of successes that we have, or sometimes we call that letter r. If you have a TI-83, then when you hit second vars and select binomial PDF, yours will look like this. And then you select n, p, and r, and put those separated by commas. So if we do 5 trials, you do 5, comma, 30% shooter, 0.3, comma, and then how many successes? I think we usually set around 2 successes we were looking for. So comma 2, and that's what you would have typed in the calculator, and we did that in class. The formula, which you don't have to use if you don't want because you've got binomial PDF, but the formula we actually generated in class by looking at all the ways we could hit and miss. And in general, NCR, P to the R, 1 minus P to the N minus R. And again, N was the number of trials, P is success in any one trial, and R is the number of successes. So 1 minus P is the failures. Success, failure. It's 1 minus. So it's 30% success, 70% failure is what we did in class. And that's it. That's binomial. The other type is geometric. And that's what we did on day 2, in which we shot the eraser until we hit the cup. Okay? So the biggest difference about geometric is you're waiting for the success. What's the probability I have to wait until the 7th row or the 6th row until I finally hit the cup? Anytime you're waiting for that success to happen, it's a geometric probability. And again, criteria B, C, D, same as Bernoulli. It's a general Bernoulli problem. Each trial is independent, same probability, and it can only be success or failure. So the biggest distinction between geometric and binomial is geometric, we're waiting for success, and binomial is we have a fixed number of trials. So when we do these problems, we're going to actually try to find the words that discuss whether we're waiting or fixed trials, and we will circle those and we will start to classify them as either a geometric probability or binomial. In class, the example we used for geometric was shoot the eraser until you hit the cup. And the other thing that we talked about was how many trials would you expect to take until you're successful for the geometric setting. Expected number of trials you have to wait. Notice, we're waiting until success. And that expected value we talked about in class is 1 over the probability of success, where P is the probability of success. And that's it. We already did the examples and did the homeworks based on this. I just wanted to get some formal notes down on the differences between geometric and binomial, and in general, how they are just types of what we call a Bernoulli trial. Thanks.